In this episode, the Formula One Austrian Grand Prix, the 6 Hours of Monza, and the new Ferrari Hypercar has been spied. Welcome to episode 90 of the We Are Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rao, was there any racing this past weekend?
There's quite a lot, as a matter of fact.
Ooh.
So, real quick, as a little honorable mention, there was some guests of ours that had some racing this past weekend.
Who might that be?
Actually, 3 of our guests raced, and 2 of them raced in the same car. How crazy is that? So we've had guests on that do a lot of racing in a series called WRL, which is the World Racing League. This past weekend had some endurance races over at Road Atlanta. So one of our guests, Chris Walsh, he got to drive in a Porsche Cayman GT4 Club Sport. And then what was kind of cool was 2 of our other guests, which were unrelated, got to drive in the same car. That was Grant Taki, who usually drives Porsche Carrera Cup, and Gino Manley, the man that drives everything that's ever existed.
Right.
And they drove the open throttle track days E92 M3, bright green, around Road Atlanta.
That looks like a lot of fun.
It was so cool when I saw on the schedule. I was like, wait a minute, they're 2 completely unrelated, and they're both guests on our podcast, and they both drove the same car. What?
That's cool.
Really cool. But props to them. They got a P11 and a P13 out of the 2 races, and they were racing against GT4 machines in that pokey little... It's actually a road car that they've converted.
Oh.
So you know what? Hell yeah. Good on you, boys.
That's super cool.
Well done, boys. Round of applause for you. Great job. Want to see that thing racing here closer. I do love that sticker on the front bumper.
What is it?
F and send it.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, brother. But yeah, quick little shout out to our guests. Well done at World Racing League at Road Atlanta. But let's move on to some main stage racing, shall we?
Big boy racing.
Yes. So there was a not so boring Formula One race this past weekend.
Yes, there was.
There was the F1 Austrian Grand Prix.
It was entertaining.
At Red Bull Ring.
Mm-hmm.
It was very not Formula boring.
No.
It was very much Formula exciting.
This was also one of the weekends that they did the sprint qualifying.
They did. I didn't get to see the sprint qualifying, which I'm kind of PO'd about because I heard it was exciting.
I don't remember. I don't think I saw it either.
Yeah,
I did see qualifying on Friday, which originally I was like, wait a minute, qualifying's on Friday. Oh, this is one of those sprint weekends. Okay, here we go.
Sprint weekends.
And they were debating, and I want your take on this. Does pole position get set in qualifying or sprint qualifying?
Pole position for the main race?
Pole position for the record. For the record keeping.
It would be set in the sprint qualifying.
Should it?
I think so.
Or do you tune into qualifying in F1 to see pole get set?
Not enough poles being set by a sprint race.
So then what happens on Friday?
It's essentially just a quali for the quali.
Nothing goes in the record book on Friday?
Correct.
Wow. Useless.
Yes. Completely, utterly useless.
It is kind of an interesting talking point, though.
Yes, I agree. But let's talk about the race.
Let's do it.
Man, was it exciting. Holy shit, dude. Good God. Battles on battles on battles on battles. Who would you like to see battle? Russell and Perez binning each other? Do you want to see Mick and Hamilton? Do you want to see Norris and, I don't know, who is it? Ocon? Yep. Do you want to see Kevin Magnussen and Alonso? Come on, baby. What on earth?
It was very good to watch.
Holy shit. It was so exciting.
And you know what? They had a safety car with 20 laps-ish to go.
And it was perfect.
Every time. It's been great.
Perfect.
Every time. Now, the scenario in which it came out, a little interesting, but we'll get to that.
Yes. So let's start with the results, shall we?
Okay.
Then we'll come back to some excitement.
Okay.
So the 1, 2, 3. So I'll start with 3. The bottom step of the podium was taken by his Hamiltonness. # blessed.
Another podium for Mercedes, specifically Hamilton.
Yes. We'll get back to his racing in a minute. Then the second step on the podium was handed to Mr. Max Verstappen.
Okay.
So the
that
Red Bull
means-
did not win at Red Bull Ring,
Oh, okay.
which means the win goes to Mr. Charles Leclerc
Leclerc.
in the Ferrari.
Okay.
So what's funny is Ferrari wins at Red Bull's home race and Red Bull wins at Ferrari's home race.
Yep.
Like, what? So those are your top three. You ready for the rest of the point scores?
Sure.
George Russell took fourth. So that's a Mercedes 3-4. Then you had Esteban Ocon in an Alpine taking fifth.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, what? And then are you ready for my favorite part of the entire day?
Sure.
Mick Schumacher in a Haas takes sixth.
In a Haas.
Best finish ever for Mick Schumacher in a Haas.
Yeah. By a
2
lot.
weekends in a row scoring points. And not half bad points.
Wow.
Yeah, baby.
Wow.
Followed by Lando Norris in a McLaren. And then, again, I can scarcely believe I'm about to say this, Kevin Magnussen in another Haas
In another one.
in eighth.
Whoa.
2 points, 2 positions that are point scoring for the Haas's.
Wow.
Wow. And then McLaren took ninth, another McLaren, or Daniel Ricciardo, pardon me.
Right.
And then Fernando Alonso in the other Alpine took the last points.
Dang.
In 10th. So that means Ferrari had 1 car in the points. Red Bull had 1 car in the points. Mercedes had 2 in the points. Alpine had 2 in the points. Haas had 2 in the points. McLaren had 2 in the points. Dang, dude.
The only driver, well, there were a couple drivers I know that had issues, right? In the race, Carlos Sainz with the DNF.
Actually, hold on. I need to mention something. So they came on the radio. What's this? Matthias? What's the Ferrari's name?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Now I have to figure that out. Mattia Binotto. That's right. So Mattia Binotto went on to the team radio to Carlos Sainz and said, "Plan E, execute Plan E," and he sure did execute Plan E. You know what Plan E is now? Plan E for explode.
Explode.
Because Carlos Sainz was exploding into fire.
Did you see the slow motion of his car coming to a rest?
Yes.
The engine was spitting metal bits and hot oil and flames everywhere.
Did you see that he couldn't get out of the car because it was rolling down the hill in flames?
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny was there was like one corner worker. He just like turned his back and walked away like, "Not my job, not my prob. Sorry, boys, I'm not paid enough for this shit." Meanwhile, Sainz is like, "What the? Get me the hell out of this burning fireball!"
Yeah. It was kind of awkward because he was rolling down a hill.
Yeah.
And he had to stop the car and didn't have a handbrake. And I think the marshals are supposed to put a block of wood underneath the tire.
They were late to that.
Yeah, they were very late to that. So,
But the Plan E for explode with Sainz. And then shortly after that, Leclerc was having problems with his pedals.
yeah.
And then everyone's heart just started to beat at exactly 400 beats per minute. You know, just because it's like, oh no, no.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the charred Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I will say that is probably done for the season.
It's
That
toast.
engine, done.
They need a new one.
Yep.
Scrap it. Goodbye.
Yikes.
God, that was great.
It was a fantastic race. I do believe that Sebastian Vettel got into a bunch of shenanigans, like political shenanigans. He walked out on a driver's meeting and got fined like $200K. And I think he finished dead last in the running.
See what happens when you make your racing about politics and not about racing?
Yeah.
Shut the hell up and race a car.
He's well known to do that, though. That's what he does.
It's annoying.
Yeah. Where did George Russell finish?
Fourth, right
Okay.
behind Lewis Hamilton.
Interesting.
So while, yes, Hamilton has placed higher the past 2 races than Russell has been more consistent with points.
Much more.
Russell is consistently better with points throughout the season.
So you know how all the porpoising was happening early in the season?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard the shenanigans that apparently Ferrari and Red Bull have had very thin, I think it's like the floorboard that goes under the center of the car. They were very thin, and they were only being checked in the front. You're supposed to be apparently 10 meters thick or 10 centimeters thick which is not very thick. But as it tapered down the car, they were getting thinner and thinner, which was it was like absorbing the energy of the suspension going up and down. And Mercedes had a really thick one. And since they weren't being checked further down the board, it was okay to run it thin. And that's why Red Bull and Ferrari have had really well-balanced cars, while Mercedes has not. And apparently the FIA next race is going to be cracking down on that. So we'll see if we're all equal if this actually happens.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying in racing, as they say.
Exactly. And I'm surprised that Mercedes didn't figure that out. It is a big engineering game, and usually Mercedes is very good at the big engineering game. But they didn't figure that out.
Toto is usually very good at the shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. Playing the political game and the technical game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So the current driver standings after this race. We've got Max Verstappen in number 1 with 208 points. Then we've got Charles Leclerc in the second place with 170 points. Then you've got Sergio Perez in the other Red Bull with 151 points. Then Carlos Sainz in the other Ferrari with 133. Then you have George Russell in a Mercedes with 128. And then you have Lewis Hamilton in the other Mercedes with 109.
Okay.
So that puts almost a 100-point split between Max Verstappen in first and Lewis Hamilton in sixth in the driver standings.
So it's Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, Mercedes.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And then Mick Schumacher is 15th with 12 points, baby.
Where's Danny Ricciardo?
He
He has not been doing too well this
No.
season.
He's not been particularly racy this year.
I am after he left Red Bull, nothing has gone his way.
Not a thing. Daniel Ricciardo was in 12th with 17 points.
17. Oh boy, that's not good.
Not particularly good, I would say.
Big oof.
Yeah, so that's the F1 Austrian Grand Prix.
Entertaining race. Now I think we get a 2-week break, and then I think what's the next one? I'll
Good
figure
question.
it out real fast.
I shall tell you.
I think it is the French Grand Prix at Paul Ricard.
Is it the French Grand Prix?
Yes, July 24th. So we do get a break.
Correct, yes. France
Mm-hmm.
at... Is it Paul Ricard? I believe it is, yes.
Yes, another flat high-speed track.
There'll be 22nd through 24th.
Great.
Yes. So, you ready to talk about the other race that happened?
Yeah.
So there was another race that you and I both love to watch, and this was the FIA WEC, so the World Endurance Championship.
Oh.
The 6 Hours of Monza.
Monza. Heck yeah.
Let's go. Because what a race.
What a
race. There's just... we've been very spoiled with the racing we've been able to watch these past couple of weeks.
This season has just been good.
It has.
Has been very good.
It really has. Because this Monza race, we had some battles.
Before the battles got underway, we got this, which was the debut of the Peugeot.
Yes, the Peugeot 9X8.
Right.
The wingless hypercar, race car.
What did you think?
I think it's cool looking.
I thought it was really cool looking.
I'm really glad and happy to see that we got these cool looking cars racing against each other.
Yeah.
That they don't all look exactly the same.
I'm actually a huge fan of it.
Humongous, yes.
When it was on track, it did look weird to not have a rear wing, but it looked sleek and it looked quick.
It looked good.
Yeah.
I like it.
And it made a good sound too.
Yes. Unfortunately, it didn't place very highly.
No. But it was not expected to.
No, that's exactly. It's its first race. No one had high hopes for this thing.
No.
Right? I think even the Peugeot engineers were pretty much just saying, if we can get one to see the checkered, we feel good.
The team went into it assuming this was a giant practice session.
Mm-hmm. Essentially.
And it was.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah. And one of them solved checker. It was last place in their class, but one of them solved checker.
To be fair, their class is good now. It's competitive at this point.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not one of the top teams in that top class, you're going to have trouble. But I would debate to you that P2 is probably a better, more competitive class.
Yeah.
Yes. So that puts 2 Peugeots, 2 Toyotas, 1 Glickenhaus, and 1 Alpine in the class, in the top class, which is 6 cars in total.
It's the most we've had in a long time.
In a long time. Well, how many were at did we only have
Two
at Sebring?
at Sebring?
Sebring.
We had two
One
Toyotas,
Glickenhaus.
one Glickenhaus, one Alpine.
So 4 cars. Now we're at 6.
Yep.
Right. At the addition of the 2 Peugeots. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else happened at this race?
So there was some big drama in that top class between Alpine and Toyota. So before we get to that, one of my favorite cars in the class, the Glickenhaus. This was potentially its swan song race because they are struggling in the funding department, from what I'm finding, that they may not be entering any more races.
Oh, boy.
And they had this really cool light blue livery on their car. And they were actually blitzing the field early on. Mm-hmm. They were miles ahead of everyone for a bit. And then they had a catastrophic failure of a turbo, which sent metal shavings and chunks into literally everything.
Yeah.
And it was dead. That's a damn shame.
That is a damn shame. I did not know that this could potentially be the last race for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad.
That James Glickenhaus was talking in an interview that they are looking at being one of the first ones to develop a proper hydrogen cell technology for their off-road race trucks.
Oh, okay.
Could be kind of cool.
That could be neat.
So we'll see. But yeah, huge battle between Alpine and Toyota. Mm-hmm. Huge battle, as a matter of fact.
It was very entertaining to watch.
Oh my God.
One Alpine versus 2 Toyotas initially, then down to 1 Toyota after a dumb, in my opinion, move by the Toyota.
I agree. So that Alpine had a really good battle with 2 Toyotas, went past 1 Toyota, and then it's like you blink your eyes, and then all of a sudden, he was battling the next one.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, oh, it'll take him a couple laps to get, and then no, it's poof, he's there.
Yep.
And that was a big, huge battle between that Alpine and that second Toyota because, oh man.
Big incident.
That didn't end very well for the Toyota now, did it?
No. It was odd, though, because they were going down a straightaway, and the Toyota just drifted into the Alpine.
Yeah.
Basically on purpose.
It looked like the Toyota just kept trying to pinch him off and pinch him off and pinch him off and pinch him off and pinch him off. And then finally, the Alpine just stood his ground. Was like, okay, well, I guess if you want to do that, feel free, but I'm not going to move. Thank you.
Right. And then the front left of the Alpine hit the right rear of the Toyota and shredded the right rear of the
Instantaneously.
Instantly.
It was honestly like blink of an eye and the entire right rear of the Toyota gone. Poof.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Yep. It was crazy.
But that was the drama in Hypercar. There was some drama in GTE AM as well, and in GTE Pro, and I believe there's even P2 drama that I didn't get to see too much of. Mm-hmm. But the GTE AM drama, this is the drama we really want to talk about because we know about sausage curbs, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Sausage curbs are both good and bad.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to see the bad more than I see the good. Mm-hmm. Because the sausage curb absolutely yeeted an Aston. Yeet the Aston.
It was this car,
Boom.
the 4 Horsemen car, which is unfortunate for them. But it launched the car probably 15 to 20 feet in the air.
It was bad.
And it just tumbled and rolled and flipped and tumbled. And the only reason it was put in the air was due to the sausage curbs themselves, which are essentially giant speed bumps that you would find on a racetrack that are very tied down to the racetrack.
I'm looking for a picture.
They're normally there to stop you from cutting a corner and trying to gain an advantage. You have to go over the speed bump slowly. But in this case, the driver was sideways coming into it. He had already lost control of the car, and at that point, it just launched the car straight into the air. And it was an ugly incident. It was one of those moments in racing where you go, oh, I hope he's alive.
Yeah, it was really not good.
No.
He was really, 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 really not good. He was...
So they used to have gravel as the runoff at that part of the track. And they've recently paved it and put it into a sausage curb situation. And I don't like it. We've seen now 2 weekends in a row cars get airbornes from curbs. We saw it at Silverstone, and now we've seen it at Monza. Saw it in open wheel. Now we see it in car racing.
Yep.
It's not good.
I just found a picture of the crash itself where the Aston is. I mean, he is properly airborne, it is a bit scary to see how that thing absolutely just rocketed.
Not only that, but it ripped the door off instantaneously.
Yep. Boom!
Yeah.
Gone.
The door was gone, which means the driver's kind of exposed. It was the other side. It was not the driver's side. No. It might have been the driver's side. Anyway, door came off immediately. Car just tumble. And at this point, the driver's probably doing 160.
He's
going into there. At least 150.
Moving.
And the only way to slow the car down at that point is to keep rolling.
Yep.
Keep hitting stuff and keep rolling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scary moment, for sure.
Very scary.
But then we had some big battles in GTE Pro as well. Between the Porsche and a Ferrari battling for third place.
Oh,
that was exciting.
Oh boy,
that was so exciting.
It got a bit spicy at the end.
Very.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like a post NASCAR race. Come over here, let me give you a knuckle sandwich kind of an ending there.
It kind of seemed like it
because it was woo baby.
Yeah. There was
going down that front straight, touch, and then finally again. What round was it? The Parabolica,
yeah.
Touch, and then was it the Lesbos again? Touch.
When they were, I think the Porsche was pushing the Ferrari under braking. I was like, this is getting out of hand. This is not good.
Yeah, the gloves have come off here.
Somebody's gonna get hurt or suspended or something.
5 for fighting coming quickly.
Yeah. And
5 for fighting was dished out to the Porsche for getting a drive-through penalty for that.
Kevin Estra kind of had it coming. I'm not going to lie.
There was some aji-baji from both sides there.
There was, but he was making it dangerous. I wouldn't say the Ferrari was making it dangerous. He was making it close. But when he was shoving the Ferrari in the braking zone, clearly with no intention to brake, I was like, you're going to get driver's points on your FIA license. That's way past the line. Yeah.
It was fun to watch.
It was spicy.
It was really
But you know what's going to be good is those two drivers are going to be doing the prototypes for those respective manufacturers in like a year.
Just wait.
Yeah.
That Porsche versus Ferrari LMH battle is going to be so hot.
That only begun, that race.
Bad blood here.
It will continue.
So you ready for the final results of this Monza race?
Yes.
All right, so in Hypercar, we had the Alpine A480 taking the win, and that is also the overall win, followed by two different Toyotas, the number 8 and the number 7. So the number 8 is the Sebastian Buemi, Brendan Hartley, and Ryo Hirakawa, and then the number 7 took third, which had Mike Conway, Kamui Kobayashi, and Jose Lopez. Then in P2, we had the number 41 car that had Rui Andrade, Ferdinand Habsburg, and Norman Renato, followed by the number 38 car, which was Roberto Gonzalez, Antonio De Costa, and Will Stevens.
Okay.
And then I'm going to skip through the rest of P2, and I'm going to get to GTE Pro. Won by the American, a Corvette, with Tommy Milner and the Brit Nick Tandy.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, the former Porsche man.
Heck yeah.
Let's go. Happy to see them. If the Porsche can't win, I want to see the Corvette win.
Did you see the Ferraris run out of fuel with 5 minutes remaining? Or pit for fuel?
Yes. Did you see that the Corvette was on fumes? Mm-hmm. This was another one of those situations where it's like, by some miracle grace of God, can I just make it to the end? Massive fuel save by the Corvette there. Well done, boys. Followed by the number 52 Ferrari by Miguel Molina and Antonio Fuoco. And then the number 51 Ferrari took third with Alessandro Pierguida and James Collado. And then finally, we have the two Porsches. And then going into GTE AM, we had the Dempsey Proton Racing take the win.
Heck yeah.
With Harry Tinknell, Christian Reed, and Sebastian Perlot. And then we had that followed up by the Iron Dames, I believe, the 85.
Okay.
The Ferrari, the pink Ferrari. They got second. That's Rachel Frey, Michelle Gadding, and Sarah Bovey. And I believe this was the first time a female has actually ever gotten a pole position in a WEC race, ever.
A win or a pole position?
A pole position.
A podium?
pole position.
Wow. Okay,
like
so
in
they were on
qualifying.
pole. Okay. Nice.
So-
That's cool.
Good for them.
Heck
Well
yeah.
done. Dames.
So I believe that puts the Alpine in the drivers' standings. They are ahead. I think that they were ahead going into that race, and they also took the win over Toyota, which is good. I don't know if in the manufacturer standings. No, it doesn't look like in the manufacturer standings they're ahead because Toyota has 2 cars. So
Yeah,
that's kind of
Toyota's going to
unfair.
win that.
Yeah. But I hope to see an Alpine win the drivers. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, is their last year in Hypercar? That'd be
Yeah.
cool. Yes, agreed. But there's one more thing to quickly chat about.
What's that?
Speaking of LMH and LMDH, so the Le Mans Hypercar and the Le Mans Daytona Hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
So we briefly talked about the bad blood coming between Ferrari and Porsche. Well, it's becoming more real because the new Ferrari LMH has been spied on track in its camo. Yes, let's go. I am not a huge fan of the look of it. It looks like a weird car with strange wings.
It does look odd, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
It does look very odd, actually.
It's going to be cool to see it racing against the Peugeot and the Porsche and the Toyota and all of them.
Yes, but if you look at the wings,
The
and
wings
how
are weird.
Yeah, how the car's set up, it does look. I don't know. Looks really weird. Though the front angle looks a lot like the headlights of the SP90. Is that what it's called? What's their new
SF90.
SF90? Their new prototype that they're making.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it reminds me of that.
Yep.
Still, Ferrari in the top class at Le Mans.
It's going to be sick.
Heck yeah.
It's going to be sick.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Gonna be great.
So yeah, that's all I got for episode 90. You got anything else?
I do not.
All right. So then thank you so much for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please drop a comment and let us know which of the new hypercars are you most excited about for the upcoming WEC and IMSA season. And also, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button while you're there. And if you're listening on audio, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on your platform of choice. Don't forget, while you're at it, follow us on social. Facebook is We Are Auto, Instagram is We Are Auto _, and YouTube is We Are Auto. So again, thanks so much. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.